Hello, time to melt your brain with awesome facts. First up, let's talk music. Did you know that Dave Grohl holds the record for the most musical guest appearances on Saturday Night Live? 16 times to be exact. Whether with Nirvana, Foo Fighters, or just jamming with others, Grohl's been a regular. And speaking of records, Alec Baldwin has hosted the show a whopping 17 times. They should give these guys their own seats by now. Did you know Reebok is named after an African antelope known for its speed? The name comes from the Afrikaans word Reebok. Makes sense for a sports brand, right? You know Chinese checkers? Well, it's neither Chinese nor really checkers. It was invented in 19th century Germany as Sternhalma, and the whole Chinese part was just a marketing gimmick to sell more games in the US. In just one gulp, a blue whale can gulp down nearly 500,000 calories. Good thing too, since it burns about 1,900 calories with every feeding lunge. Some people can remember every day of their life in vivid detail. The syndrome is called hyperthymesia. It's also sometimes called highly superior autobiographical memory. Here's a curveball. Many think that the BMW logo represents a spinning propeller, but it's actually based on the Bavarian state flag, just a nod to their roots in Germany. Lionesses in zoos can receive birth control implants to prevent unwanted pregnancies. These implants work similarly to human birth control implants, by releasing hormones that prevent ovulation and fertilization. Meerkats have distinctive black patches around their eyes that help them cope with bright sunlight in their natural habitat, which is often open and sunlit. These patches work like built-in sunglasses by reducing glare and helping them see better in bright conditions. The darker pigmentation around their eyes absorbs excess sunlight and minimizes the reflection of light that can be distracting or blinding. This adaptation is particularly useful for these social animals, as they spend a lot of time foraging for food in their dry, sunny environments. So, in a way, those black circles do serve as natural built-in sunglasses. Research has shown that marmosets are the first non-human primates found to use unique vocalizations that correspond to specific individuals within their communities. While palm trees have become synonymous with Los Angeles, they're not native to the region. These iconic trees were imported in the late 1700s and gained popularity during the Victorian era. In the 1930s, a major initiative to plant 40,000 palms was launched as part of an unemployment relief program, further solidifying their status in the city's identity. The Rosetta Stone's actual purpose was mundane, a decree affirming the royal cult and detailing tax exemptions for priests. It was inscribed in 3 scripts, hieroglyphs, Demotic, and Greek, so various groups in Egypt could read it. Later, the well-understood Greek text provided scholars a key to decipher the other 2 scripts, especially the hieroglyphs, revolutionizing our understanding of ancient Egyptian writing. Protein folding is the process by which a newly synthesized protein chain transforms from a random coil into a unique 3-dimensional structure. This final conformation enables the protein to perform its specific biological function. While many proteins fold spontaneously, others require assistance from enzymes or specific environmental conditions. Ever heard of Zoopharmacognosy? It's the study of how animals self-medicate. Take chimpanzees. They eat certain plants to deal with parasites. That's nature's pharmacy in action. Speaking of nature's innovations, polar bears have a third eyelid. This nictitating membrane protects their eyes, shields them from UV rays, and helps retain moisture in harsh Arctic conditions. Troposmia is a rare disorder that causes people to perceive familiar smells in a distorted and unpleasant way. It can lead to previously enjoyable smells becoming repulsive or even nauseating. For example, someone with troposmia might smell a banana as rotten garbage or a flower as a dead fish. For a bird that spends almost its entire life at sea, frigatebirds have one very inconvenient trait. Their feathers aren't actually waterproof, meaning they can never land on the ocean itself. The common poorwill is the only bird known to enter true hibernation. Unlike other birds that merely enter a state of torpor during the winter, poorwills can hibernate for extended periods, even while incubating their eggs. Mosses, also known as bryophyta, are a fascinating group of plants that stand apart from more familiar types like trees, grasses, and ferns. They are one of the 3 groups of bryophytes, which are non-vascular plants with completely enclosed reproductive systems. With over 14,000 species that come in a variety of colors, mosses thrive across all 7 continents. You wouldn't expect a small, rootless plant to make much impact, but according to researchers at the University of Exeter, mosses did exactly that nearly 500 million years ago. They suggest that when bryophytes began to spread across the land, they changed the composition of bedrock, triggering the Earth to absorb large amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The dramatic reduction in this greenhouse gas caused global cooling, which ultimately led to the Ordovician-Silurian extinction event, the second largest mass extinction in Earth's history. The anaconda's scientific name, Eunectes murinus, translates to a good swimmer in Greek. This makes sense because anacondas can reach a speed of 16 kilometers per hour or 10 miles per hour in water. Paired with the fact they can stay underwater for up to 10 minutes makes them one of the deadliest predators in the rivers of South America. Dragonflies have a high power-weight ratio and have been documented accelerating at 4G linearly and 9G in sharp turns while pursuing prey. Peccary. Here, we have one of the few animals that can chomp down on cacti like the prickly pear and not be bothered a bit by the spines. This useful evolutionary adaptation means they can get water from succulent plants that most animals won't touch. Ritalin, which is commonly used to treat ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, was named after the wife of Leandro Panizin, who was one of the creators of the drug. The drug's generic name is methylphenidate. The name Ritalin is derived from Rita, which was inspired by Dr. Leandro Panizzo's wife, Rita. The story goes that she was one of the first individuals to test the drug, and her improved focus and performance, reportedly in activities like tennis, demonstrated the potential benefits of methylphenidate. The word scientist was first coined in 1833. Before this term, people who studied the natural world were often referred to as natural philosophers or men of science. Eagles are known for their exceptional eyesight, which is often estimated to be around 20 quarters vision. This means they can see objects at 20 feet that a human with normal vision, 20/20ths, would need to be at 4 feet to see. Eagles can also see in the ultraviolet spectrum. This ability enhances their vision significantly, as many prey animals, including rodents and other small mammals, excrete UV reflective substances in their urine. Wood frogs are remarkable creatures that have adapted to survive harsh winter conditions by holding their pee. During hibernation, wood frogs can go up to 8 months without urinating. Saudi Arabia and Yemen have the largest difference in GDP per capita between neighboring countries. The difference is substantial, with Saudi Arabia's GDP per capita significantly higher than Yemen's. Ready for a number cruncher? If you were to save 1 billion digits of pi in a text file, it would take up about 954 MB of space. Brazil is home to the largest volume of renewable freshwater resources in the world, accounting for approximately 12% of the global total. This is largely due to the vast Amazon River basin, which is a major source of freshwater for the country. Dominant female cotton-top tamarin monkeys, Saguinus oedipus, use pheromones to control reproduction within their groups. The pheromones they produce can suppress the sexual behavior of subordinate females, effectively preventing them from breeding. This dominance also delays puberty in subordinate females, ensuring that only the dominant female can reproduce in a stable social group. Cotton-top tamarins are strictly arboreal, spending their entire lives in trees. They obtain their water solely from rainfall and their food, without ever descending to the ground. Deforestation poses a significant threat to their survival, leading to their highly endangered status. Revenge bedtime procrastination is when people delay sleep to reclaim personal time after a busy day. Despite being tired, they stay up scrolling, watching TV, or doing anything but sleeping. It's a way of getting back at the day for taking away personal freedom. This behavior often leads to sleep deprivation, which impacts mood and health. So, it's a sneaky, self-sabotaging habit that may feel liberating at the time, but it can ultimately make things worse if left unchecked. Germany have the largest population of raccoons outside of North America. The species has been introduced to various European and Asian countries through deliberate introductions and accidental escapes. Horses are obligate nose breathers, meaning they can only breathe through their nostrils and not through their mouths. This is due to the structure of their respiratory system. The soft palate in horses is positioned in a way that separates the nasal passages from the oral cavity. There is strong evidence suggesting that the dingo populations in eastern and western Australia represent separate waves of human-introduced dogs or wolves. These distinct lineages likely arrived in Australia at different times, potentially within the time frame of 8,000 to 3,000 years ago. Genetic studies have revealed significant differences between the eastern and western dingo populations, supporting the theory of multiple introductions. This also suggests that dingoes have been present in Australia for a much longer time than previously thought. Switching gears, IKEA. You probably know they use a ton of wood, about 1% of the world's lumber supply. But I bet you didn't know how much of that ends up in the trash because, let's face it, people hate reading the instructions. Here's a time-bending fact for you. The Big Diomede and Little Diomede Islands, separated by just 2.4 miles, have a 23-hour time difference, so you can literally see yesterday from today. Richard Dawkins, the meme lord, coined the term meme long before it became about cat pics and viral jokes. In his 1976 book, The Selfish Gene, he described memes as cultural ideas that spread like genes, evolving over time. Fashion trends, catchy tunes, and even bad dance moves? All memes. While today's memes involve captions and internet humor, Dawkins laid the groundwork for how ideas spread. He's the original meme expert, even if he didn't predict Doge or Grumpy Cat. Click on this one if you are ready for more mind-blowing trivia. These facts are just the tip of the iceberg. Subscribe now and dive deeper into the fascinating world of knowledge.